Hey kids, it's me. I'm going to disappear here because I'm going to share my screen. If I can figure out how to share my screen. There we go. So I'm going to quickly go through the practice quiz, which will look a lot like your real quiz. And this is optional, but if you're concerned about getting a better quiz score, this is what you should be doing. Where is it? It's there. Okay. Share. All right. There's some extra help at the very end. I would definitely encourage you to use pencil and paper, and I'm going to kind of show you what I would do in pencil and paper, and I'm going to get this done in less than 10 minutes. First one, everyone's going to have the same problem here. If you would like to do this along with me, some of the problems will be the same and some will be different, but the setups will all be the same. So I'm going to put that link out there right now, which you could take. All right. There are some over here that are right and some of that are wrong. But the basic idea, if you touch these, like if I was going to say, well, 2 over 6, like 2 over 6 is equal to, once I've set up that one side, and I would encourage you to put your fingers on here, 2 to 6, you're like, oh yeah, lower left, lower right. Then down here, it would be, 1 over y. That would be a proportion that is valid. Okay. In the same way, 2 over 6 equals y over 2.5. Those don't work because the 2 has to match up to the 1 and the 6 has to match up to the y. The other way I could do it is I could also do 2 over 1. So I'm matching up those two corresponding parts. In fact, let me do 1 over 2. Let me do it backwards. Do 1 over 2 because it doesn't matter which order I do it in. So I'm doing little triangle to big triangle. And then on the other side, I've got 2 choices. I could either do y over 6 if I'm trying to find y, or I could do 2.5 over x if I'm trying to find x. So in this case, maybe I'm trying to find y. So I do y over 6. So if you look over here, pick one that's right, one that's wrong. If you go all through them, let me look at real quick. 2.5 over x. Oh, I think it's the first one. Let me double check that. 2.5 over x is 1 over 2. That's the correct one. Okay, and that will tell me at the end that I got it right, I hope. We're dilating. So when we dilate, this is my center C. It tells me my center is C at 4, 5 there. So D is going to move away from C unless my scale factor is less than 1. My A is going to move away from C along this line, once again, unless my scale factor is less than 1. And then finally, F is going to move away from C along this line. And then the question is, where does F land? So my new F, so I went down 1 and over 2, down 1 over 2. That would be a scale factor of, so that would be a scale factor of 2. I need to go 1 further. So my scale factor of 3 is right there. It's 1, -1. Hopefully this is going to check. If not, my key is wrong. Yay, it's right. All right. So the main thing is realize where your center is, draw it through your lines. And if I was going to actually redraw this thing, let me just redraw it real quick. That line is not so good. Line is right there, and my D would land right here. So if I was actually going to redraw this thing, let me change colors. Didn't ask you to do that. Well, that kind of did, but the real answer is just where does F land? So you can see if I redraw this thing, it's going to look like the same thing where the sides are 3 times as long. The area is actually 9 times the size, but the lengths are 3 times as long. Okay, next one. ABC, so I'm AB and AC. So we know how big they are in this triangle, and DE, F, and AB is what corresponds. So AB corresponds to DE because they match up, and then AC right here, my A and my C corresponds to my D and my F. So I'm going from ABC to DEF. It's a 1/2. It's getting smaller. Now, if you're doing this on your own, the answer may be something different. It may be asking instead for DE, it may be asking for a F, and you probably have a different scale factor. So in my case, DE once again matches up to my AB, matches up to DE matches up to my AB, and I'm telling you the scale factor. So I don't necessarily need to set a proportion. I just need to know, well, 14 times 1/2 or divided by 2 is 7, and I got it right. Okay. I could set a proportion for that. You could draw it out to make sure. The main thing is that you know that AB matches up to DE, BC matches up to EF, and AC matches up to DF. and we know the scale factor and the direction we're going in. It's important to know the direction you're going in. Next one, triangle, side length 33 and another one 39. Make a reduction to make the first side 11. So if I was going to actually draw this out, I think you still see what I'm saying. I'm going to be really upset if you don't see what I'm seeing here. Okay, 33 and 39. 33. I'm drawing over here in 39. I don't know if you can see it or not. This is going to be a real bummer if you can't see it. And I'm trying to make a reduction where the first side is 11. So if you can see what I'm doing right now, I'm not sure if you can or not. I can tell that my 33 side matches up to my 11 side. So I'm going to do 33 over 11. And then my 39 side matches to my X side. Now, some of you may already notice, well, the scale factor is just 3. I just divide by 3, and that would totally work. Except I did that wrong. 39 there. I'm doing this with my mouse. It's terrible. Okay. Then we're going to cross multiply. We're going to do 33 times X. And we're going to do, where'd my mouse go? There we go. And what 11 times 39 is. So I'm going to get that number 11 times 39 right there. And then ultimately, I'm going to take that number and divide by 33. And I'm looking for something that's small, but bigger than 11, because the 39 was bigger than the 33. So I'm going to work this out back on the other screen. I'm not even sure if you can see what I'm doing. All right, so back on the other screen. Let me check what I had again. So 39 times 11, those got multiplied times each other. And then the whole thing gets divided by 33. And oops, there's a 39. 13. That sounds right. Yay, huzzah. All right, next one, mirror problem. Okay, mirror problem is going to look like, let me file new. I'm hoping you can see these. Going to look something like this. I got a mirror. I got two people standing apart from each other. Mirrors in the middle here. And let's see. You are 5 meters from the mirror. Your eyes are 1.6 above the ground, or your friend's eyes are. And once again, if you're doing this on your own, you're going to have slightly different numbers than I. And the distance from the mirror to the flagpole is 39. The other way I can do this problem is I can tell you how high flagpole is, and you have to figure out, like, the X goes here. Just changed it. So we have 16 over 5 is one way to set up this proportion, is equal to X over 39 equals to X over 39. And I'm going to cross multiply and solve. So I'm going to multiply the 16 times the 39 and then divide by 5. So that's what I'm going to do back here. 16 times 39 divided by 5. It's incorrect. What did I do wrong? Well, it's not 16. It's 1.6. I can't read my own writing. Yeah, that answer doesn't make sense. Let's try 1.6. Hey, there we go. 1.248. And this one's important that if you were going to round, notice it ends at hundredths. If you can actually make use of the calculator here. Once again, the division bar is the little slash right next to the shift. You need to do that. Okay. Nested triangle. Okay. This one, really tricky. Your little triangle, 4 over 3, is my proportion. Okay. Which is going to be equal to X over, and I'm going to make you answer this. X over, what is the side of that large triangle? And the answer is 10, okay? Because it's not 7. 7 is from here to here. And this is the mistake some people will make. So I'm going to cross multiply those two and get 40, and multiply those two and get 3x. So I got 3x. Now I know you can see me now. 3x equals 40. And then we're going to divide the 40 by 3 and get a number that we're expecting to be bigger than 4. And I think slightly bigger than 10. 40 divided by 3, 13.33. Woo, awesome. Almost done. Rectangle, 28 and 77. You're making another one. The length is 4. So what's the width? So once again, I can do 28 over 77 equals 4 over x. Kind of doing this in my head, so because I want to finish up quickly. So the x and the 28 are going to get multiplied together, and the 77 and the 4 are going to get multiplied together. I think we'll find out in a second. And I'm going to divide this by 4, and that doesn't seem right. So I got 28 and 77 and 4 over x. Oh no, the 77 and the 4 get multiplied together. This is hard without writing it down. This is why you should always write it down. Divided by 28. Now that seems right, because the 28 went to 4 as dividing by 7, and the 70, yeah, that works. Okay. And once again, your numbers may be different. Nested triangle. Okay, this looks just like this one, except it's on its side. So let me, once again, I'm going to risk drawing something that may or may not show up on the screen. I'm getting this weird message on the screen here. All right. Please move this window away from the shared. Oh, I guess it's just warning me. I don't know. I'm guessing you're seeing. Okay, so this is what the deal is. I've got a kite that's flying out here. This is my kite up here, and I've staked it down to the ground down here. But we're trying to figure out how high it is. So what we do is we walk out and we measure how high it is, and then we keep walking and we measure that till we're right underneath it. And then from that, we've got 2 similar triangles. So in my case, 2 and 2.5, I walk out 2, and I'm 2.5 high is how far it is up to the string. So I'm creating a little similar triangle here. These are parallel lines, so similar triangles. And then the question is, from this point, you continue walking and go 28. So in this situation, it says I'm going another 28. If it had told me the distance all the way back to the beginning was 30, that would be the same problem. But I have to figure out, oh yeah, my big triangle here is 30. If you use 28 as your big triangle side, you're going to get the wrong answer. It's going to be close. Okay, so we're trying to figure out how high the kite is. So we know that 2.5 over 2, 2.5 over 2. Oh, lights just went out. That means I've been here for 10 minutes. Equals x over 30. So my 30 and my 2.5 are going to get cross multiplied, and then I'm going to divide all that by my 2. Okay, so let's see if that works. 30 times 2.5 divided by 2. Keeping my fingers crossed. Incorrect. What did I do wrong? Oh, I wrote down the number wrong. It's 30. Hey, all right. This is the last one. One more. Shadow problem. Shadows are just proportional triangles. I'm going to try this in my head. 13 and 16 are 2 sides of my triangle, my height and my shadow. And I've got another one where the building has a shadow of 128. I could also tell you how tall the building was and ask you for the shadow. Just sets the proportionally. So we know that I could have done this here. 13 over 16 equals x over 128. Now this won't fix it, but that's what I'm doing. So the 13 and the 128 get cross multiplied, and then I'm going to divide by the 16. So 13 times 128 divided by 16. Got it right. And finally, this is a really hard one, where I'm going to encourage you to go to the very end and solve it. But the original equation here is I know that 65 over x is equal to, let's see, they tell me the student's 60 inches tall, and I know that little piece down there is 200 minus x. I don't know what it is, but I know the distance between them is 200. So that's my formula. The 65 and the 200 minus x gets multiplied together. And ultimately, when I do all the algebra, which is explained in the last few slides, I think I'm going to get 130,000 divided by 115. And I just know that's, no, 125. I just know that's right because I've done enough of these problems. It's right. It makes sense because the student is shorter here. We're expecting, not by much, but we're expecting if they were the same height, we'd land exactly at 100. So 104 kind of makes sense to me that from here to here would be 104. And it checks. And then once again, if you go to the, you can see this. I got everything right. There's my answer for the first one that I couldn't see, but everything else is right. Okay, I'm done. Let me stop sharing and let me stop recording. Bye.